Hi there, this is going to be a test and repair of a Gallagher S17 solar electric fence energizer, electric fence charger, whatever you want to call it. Came in to us from a customer. I don't know what's wrong with it. Their notes didn't really have much to go off of. Just said don't work, so that's pretty basic as you can get. Anyways, I don't know what's wrong with it. I haven't opened it up, haven't turned it on, haven't done anything to it. So this one, it actually is missing or not missing, partially missing. It's a rubber, black rubber switch cover there, and it's dry rotted off there, so it's exposed so water can get in there. So we'll have to replace that. But we'll turn it on to see what it does. I may have a battery in, I don't know. Should be a little red light that comes on there and nothing. So flip around here, we'll tighten these knobs down. Alright, get this unit open. If you own one of these, you should know, but just if you don't, and you're curious about it. Anyway, there's two tabs here on the back. Have a little lip to them, so you got to get this over those two little tabs. So you push them in with the thumbs. They don't move a whole lot. And this moves just a little bit. So you push it in, hold them, and then lift with these two fingers on the sides. So push and hold and lift. And there you go. And that's the inside of it, and it did have a battery in it, but it still wouldn't come on. So maybe the battery's bad or weak, and possibly the battery's weak because something else is going on. Okay, maybe the solar panel is not charging the battery, but the 6-volt battery, we'll put our meter across there and see what we're getting. Should be over 6 to make it run. 3.3, so that battery's no good. See if you can. I'll hook it to my power supply real quick and see if I can it'll take a charge. Put it about 7 volts and see if we can put some good charge into the battery. Oh, I have no amp draw on it at all, so that battery's no good. So they've, I imagine there's something draining it from here, but the cells must be bad because I had no amp draw where it's not putting a charge in, not taking a charge, so the battery is shot. So if it put a good amp draw on my power supply, then I know that likely the battery's okay to be recharged. But I had 7 volts going to a 6-volt battery, and it's not doing anything, so its battery's no good. So we'll go ahead and let's test this solar panel real quick. Test the solar panel. With the battery good or not. If you're just unsure, want to test it, unhook the battery, make sure the unit's turned off. I'm going to unlatch it here, move this bottom case out of the way. Better to do it outside, but if you got a good light source in the room of your garage or shop or wherever you're working it, testing it at, you can do it inside, but kind of hard to tell if it's rating good or not unless you go outside to know for certain when it's a nice sunny day. But you get a voltmeter, like a digital AC DC multimeter, put on DC volts, make sure it's turned off, put it across here, and it should be getting close to 7 or a little over. And we're reading, I'm kind of raising up towards the light, I'm getting 7 volts on it. So this solar panel is fine. So why the battery wasn't any good, I don't know. Maybe the module's no good. Maybe the module's got a load on it. That's why it's dogging down and not, able to keep up with it. Or that switch cover being messed up. Maybe it's corroded. I don't see no corrosion on the board just from a visual look right here. This particular one is a 2006 model, so it's based on today's time. It's 12 years old. Well, I'm going to put my power supply up to it. I got a 6.5, 7 volts right now. Black to black, red to red, so they don't touch. Should have a little light that comes on. Well, clicking again, so that's good. It's kind of loud, so I wonder if there's a short. Shouldn't be that loud. If you notice that, say I turn all the lights off, there's a sensor on here that thinks it's nighttime, so it's pulsing slower. a little sensor on there. Since it's nighttime or cloudy days, kind of conserve battery. Turn the light on, goes back to flashing normal again. So that's a little feature that this thing's got. All right, well, let's put our little analog meter, electric fence meter across here. Seems to be working good to me. Almost 8,000 volts come out of it, so they got a bad battery. Maybe this thing sat around in the barn for 3 or 4 years before they finally went to use it again, and maybe it just went flat on them. We're going to replace this rubber switch cover while we're sitting here with it. Get a small flat screwdriver and just kind of get behind it there and just kind of pry it out. This one's really, really, really bad. I mean, this falls right apart. Usually, that one came out finally, but see, it's just a little, kind of got a little groove there in the center that kind of goes. This back half goes on the back side, front half goes on the front side. So, rubber switch cover, replacement one. Got one here somewhere. Looks like that. That's the goes over that thing there. Put them on there. I think the easiest way for me to do it anyways is to have it in the off position on the switch down, and then put the bottom of it in first. So put this bottom edge of the switch, kind of slide it in there first, and get this back portion of it into the past little groove there. And to get on all the rest of the way, hold it with one finger and take a small flat screwdriver and just kind of work it in there. And there you go. So now water can't get inside there, or bugs can't climb in there and make their home. So this one just needs a battery. I'm surprised. That's all that was wrong with it. I don't know what happened. Why the battery went bad. Maybe it sat around a long time without being used and just went flat from sitting. I think the best thing to do on storage for these things when people aren't using during the off season, there's different ways you can do it. You can, if you're not going to use it, say during the winter time, off season or whatever, you can leave the battery disconnected and let it sit there and not being used. Or what I would do is I would leave the battery connected. And there's two things, a way to make sure the battery will stay charged up on you. You can either leave it outside on the post, even if you're not going to use it. If you just want to set it out there with it turned off, no fence hooked up, you're just going to just let it sit there to be a yard ornament, more or less. Leave it outside, battery hooked up, unit turned off, and it'll just sit there and just maintain itself with the charge on the battery. It won't overcharge it. Those boards have over voltage regulation, things on it to keep it from overcharging the battery. Or if you don't want to do that, put it in the barn or the garage or whatever, and you can either set it, leave it hooked up, the battery hooked up, turned off, and leave it sit in the on a shelf somewhere where it's going to get some light from the room or a light from the from sunlight coming through the window, and that'll hopefully maintain it. Or if it's a dark area, maybe if you can remember, maybe once a month, take the unit outside and just set it outside somewhere with battery hooked up, unit turned off, and let's let it sit there for a couple of days once a month and get a nice charge into that battery. That way, if it goes 4 months before you go to use it, you're not going to go out there, turn it on, or let it try to charge in the sunlight for a week, and it won't. The battery could go on flat for some reason from sitting and not getting a charge in it, and the battery goes bad. So that's little hints that tricks that I do to help these little batteries out. You can recharge up these little batteries with the external 6-volt battery charger, but you got to be kind of careful. Those little lead acid gel cell batteries can't handle a lot of current going into them like a car battery can. So if you use a external battery charger, make sure it's a 6-volt setting on there. Make sure it's 1 amp or less. You can find them, 750 milliamp battery charger that's either 6-volt or 12-volt for like $20 or less on Amazon or whatever, eBay or whatever. You can go to Walmart or someplace like that. Auto parts store might have like the battery tender. There's another brand that's out there, but anyways, you can go to Walmart back by the auto parts battery area and find their battery chargers. And there's a gazillion different ones, but you can get them as cheap as $10-15 probably for little battery chargers. For little batteries like this, up to probably $20, $30, $40 depending on what fancy one you want to get. But as long as it's 1 amp or less, it's got 6-volt setting on there. That's what you can get to charge up these little gel cell batteries like this one is. And it'll work on other size batteries as well, but other brands as well. As long as it's not over 1 amp, you won't risk of overcharging the battery. Because I've seen, and I think the guy did this possibly to it, because if you feel this battery should be nice and smooth across it, but I'm rubbing my hand on this one, you can't tell. Rubber hand across this one, I can feel a little lump, like a little hump right here. And if you kind of look at it, you can kind of can't really tell, but right about here and right about there, it's not smooth. There's a little raised area all the way across from here to here and here to here. So that's possibly the guy tried charging up with a 6-volt battery charger that was over 1 amp, and he left on there way too long, and I put like a 2 amp or 5 amp charge into it. That thing will overheat and make these, I've seen these batteries just completely ripple all the way across where big old humps through it, or I've seen them be so overcharged that they're shaped like a football like this, and then they're like, well, what happened to it? And you put too big of a battery charger on there and overcharged it. So got to be kind of careful. The best way to charge up if your panel's working fine is just let the solar panel do its job. It's what it's there for. But that one just needed the new battery. So luckily that's all this one had needed done to it. But anyways, if you found this video helpful, or maybe you're just not doing exactly what this one was doing and you want to ask questions, you can go to our if you go to the comments box below, ask any questions you want. I mean, we're located here in the States, but if you got one of these and you live overseas, up in Canada or whatever, we can still help you, because these things are sold globally, so they're basically all the same. Be happy to help you troubleshoot and everything. What I want to say, also there's a description tab. There's a press that, and then it'll bring up a little link there to our website and our Facebook page, so you can find out a little more about us. Like us, follow us, whatever you want to do. You can like and subscribe to this page or this YouTube channel if you want. If you don't want, then don't do it. But anyways, we appreciate people finding out about us. We like working on stuff. We enjoy, the people that we get to talk to on the phone and everything. I made that tape a little too short. The reason I'm putting tape on this is just to hold the battery in place during shipping, more or less. I think they come from the factory with tape on them already, but this one's been replaced. I don't have the tape I want to use on hand, so duct tape it is. Duct tape works for a lot of stuff, so handy thing to have, and it's cheap. $5 you can get a decent roll. But that's what I'm going to just do. I'm just trying to tape this battery down so that way it doesn't bounce around in shipping. It's got little grooves in the case up here that holds the battery, but you just never know how it's going to be treated on its way being shipped back to the customer. But other than that, this one's basically done. Connectors and then the battery wire are clean. So that one there is all done. But we appreciate you checking us out. Again, if you got any questions or need help with repairs or troubleshooting or parts, if you want to try to do the work yourself, that's what we're here for. We can help with all the above. And we work on all brands of all ages, no matter if they're 110, 220, 12 volt, 6 volt, 50 years old, brand new. We'll help you out. Free estimates on everything that we work on. 18-month warranties on everything that we work on, no matter the age of the thing, and that includes lightning damage. It does not include water damage or malfunctions or whatever. or gets or not malfunction, but like gets knocked off the post and falls on the back of the truck or whatever, and it gets hit by something. We can't cover that kind of stuff, but it malfunctions, lightning damage, whatever. Repair that we did messed up and didn't last a year and a half or longer that we hope for. We'll stand behind it and we'll repair it at no charge for you. But again, we appreciate it. And until next time, have a good day.